Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today is Boxing Day and I have a tree that's in a box. It's a Norway maple and today I'll be working on it, pruning it back to size and fixing up some of the dead wood on it. My Norway maple was growing really strongly. It was a really healthy tree. And then one year we got a record cold temperature of minus 36 degrees Celsius. And I think the root system got too cold and probably a lot of it died off. The tree is recovering now and it's gaining strength every year. So I think finally it has enough strength that I can start to work on the structure of the tree once again. Get rid of a lot of this dead wood that happened on the trunk and try and save the tree and, you know, eventually make it into a really nice bonsai. Here's a look at the root base of the tree. You can see it's developing really nicely, a lot of nice radial roots. Very mature looking roots. The trunk is getting nice flare to it and the bark is starting to get that crackled appearance to it. When these Norway maples are young, the bark is very smooth, and as they get older they kind of get this crackled bark on them, which is really nice to finally see. My plan for this tree is to make this side branch the new leader of the tree, carve away all this dead wood here and shorten this branch to more of a branch so it has like a single kind of trunk going up a little higher, and then I'll start all the divisions to create that typical maple broom style canopy. Here's an overall look at the Norway maple. I had to prune some of the top off the tree in order to fit it in the greenhouse here under the benches. It was just really tall, so I just did a rough pruning. So today I'll be finalizing all the structure of the tree. It's very close to the end of December now, and it's a good time to prune maples back. They're dormant, and you prune them back, and the little cuts, they'll heal over winter, so when spring comes, they'll bleed a lot less. If you wait till spring to prune them, you'll get all kinds of bleeding, you'll lose all that nice sap, and the tree will be weak for the growing season. So maples, it's best to prune them about now, early winter, and then give those cuts time to heal over the winter so when spring comes you don't lose all your sap out of the wounds. My first task for today is to clean out all this dead wood on the trunk, take it back to living tissue so the wound can heal over eventually. After I get all the dead wood cleaned up, I'll rotate the tree around and I'll try and find a nice front for the tree based on the structure that's left. Alright, so here I go removing dead wood. I think this branch at the back is dead. Yeah, that just breaks right off. This is all dead, this upper portion, so I'm going to try pruning it off. I might need a saw. This wood could be very hard, but we'll see. It is very hard, but I might be able to kind of break it. No, I think I'll have to get the saw on it. It's just, once wood gets old, it gets really tough, and the only way to get it off is with the saw. You can see there's some insects living in the bark here. This is all just dead bark here. Yeah, I don't know where the living vein actually starts. I think it goes down here somewhere. There is a shoot out the back that appears to be alive. Let me just look at the other side here. So the living vein, it's alive in here. Somehow it gets up to this shoot, which is alive, but all this is dead. Okay, let me get the saw out. So before I start sawing, I've got to find out kind of what's going on here with the dead wood. Kind of peel back some of the bark and see what's alive and what's dead in here.
So there's the bark coming off the dead parts. So this is living back here. You can see the living vein. That's all dead. So it looks like it's kind of dead right down the trunk here. Got to get all this off there. Okay, so there you can see the living part of the trunk there. So now I got to find it on this side too, where the living part of the tree starts. There it is. You can see there's been some insects living in here, eating the dead wood, or boring into it or something. Yeah, so you can see the living vein goes up here, and kind of around here. Wow, so there must be something feeding this branch because it's alive. It's not really vigorous, but it is alive. Okay, that's all dead there. Okay, there's the part that's living going to that branch. The rest looks like dead wood up here, yeah. Yeah, a lot of dieback on this tree. It's unfortunate, but wow. Yeah, there's a lot of dead wood in here. A little more than I expected. So yeah, there's living vein going up to this branch, one going up here, a little bit of living tissue going up here, and the rest here is all dead wood. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of material to remove there. So I better get started. Maybe I should come around the other side and just clean up the dead wood there. That way I know exactly what I'm working with, what's alive and what's dead. So off comes the bark on the dead section. Like that. The tree is definitely worth saving. Like, it's got a great root base and has potential. I've just got to get it healthy, get some vigor in these branches, get wounds healing. You know, it'll be a bit of a long-term project, but I think it's worth saving that trunk. I mean, I spent a lot of years developing that root base, getting it looking nice. You don't want to just throw away all that work for nothing if you can save the tree. That's all alive down here. So there's kind of where the living section ends. So I'm going to come in here with the saw. So this is a pull straw. It cuts on the pull stroke. And then I'll probably come down here sort of a V-shaped, and the rest I'll carve out with the knob cutters. I may even do a little nibbling away just so I can get the saw in there a little better. Get some of these bumps taken off. This wood is very hard. Yeah, it's very hard wood. So you can see the area I need to clean out here. Maybe I should try Tom's ratcheting pruners on this job. See what they can do. Who knows, maybe they'll take a section out of it. Got to figure out how to release it. There. Okay, here's how they work. Ratcheting pruners. I don't know. Let's see if they can cut through here. Oh yeah. Look at that. That ratcheting action works. Wow, you can take some heavy duty stuff off with these. Let's take this off the back here. A force multiplier. Wow, these work really well. Well, Tom, your pruners are working really well. Amazing. Took a slice through there. Take one through the front here. Getting a wedge out of there. Maybe I can pop it off now, I don't know. Part of it came off. There we go. Well, that's a start. Maybe I can do some carving now and get it reduced back. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can keep carving away with the knob cutters. Or I might have to get a bigger saw out. I think that fine saw is just too light to do this kind of work. But I'll keep carving away, nibbling away, and we'll see what I can do. See if I can get some of this deadwood reduced back. I'm getting very close to finishing the carving. I've kind of, you know, you've got to imagine this thickening up and kind of healing over. It's a big wound, but hopefully someday it'll heal over and look good. Yeah, I don't think I need to go much further. Just a little cleanup work here, and I think that'll do. Then we'll just see how the tree grows over the upcoming years, and you know, maybe I'll have to go back and do a little more carving in the future, but I think for now I've got most of it done. I'm happy with that. At least you can see what's going on now with the deadwood and the living tissue. It's not a mystery hidden beneath the bark. My plan for closing this wound up, or helping to close it up, is I've got to get growth out of the leader side of the tree, this branch here. So I'm going to do very little pruning on that branch. I'm just going to let this thicken up, and eventually, you know, the flow of the tree will be coming out this direction, and it'll get some callousing, and maybe, you know, I might even decide to take this branch, which is pretty weak here, right off. You know, maybe reduce my wound right down in the future. So we'll see how it goes this coming summer, see how it's growing, and yeah, decide to, you know, maybe go further next year. I will prune up the branch side of the tree. So this is the leader, and this will be a branch. So I'm going to prune that back so all the vigor flows up the trunk here, and this side is, you know, kind of stays a smaller branch. This branch comes up, and then I've got a shoot coming off here, one off the back, and then I got this really thick section here. I think I can probably take that right off, and I will. So I think I'll get out my new pruners and try them out on this branch. Okay, here I go. We'll see how well these cut. It's tough wood. Maybe I need something stronger on there. I'll try Tom's ratcheting pruners. There we go. no problem. Okay, let's get that area cleaned up now. You can see how the tree's not bleeding very much. It bleeds a little bit, but not like it would in spring. And hopefully, you know, these wounds dry up. The tissue heals over a bit in the winter. And when spring comes, it won't bleed very badly from these pruning marks, pruning points. Okay, that's good. So this branch out the back is still a good living branch. So I think this could be a front of the tree, but I don't think it's a good front because it has all these bumps. It has a branch out the back. So I think, you know, probably somewhere this direction might be the front of the tree. You know, this might be the eventual true branch to this tree eventually coming up here. This might be a sacrifice branch. But, you know, for now it's going to be grown to thicken all this up. So, yeah, so I'm just looking at this branch on here now, trying to decide if it needs further pruning. I think it does at the back here. So, yeah, this one can definitely be pruned back. There's a stub up the middle here I'll take out, like that, and then I'll take the top off here. I'll take this back to here. Take the tip off here. Taking all my apical buds off. That way I'll get more ramification, finer branching. Take all these buds off too. Take that one right off. Or should I just keep two? So everything's dividing from 1 to 2, I hope. This is a stub up the middle here. Yeah, everything's dividing from 1 to 2, so that's all good. Prune this one. Ah, that's good. Okay, I think that branch is pruned up. Now, let's look at the one out the back here. This one here. Yeah, this one right here. So it comes up, divides from 1 to 2. This one could be pruned back. This one could be pruned back. There's a stub up the middle. Take that out. Now this one divides from 1 into 1, 2, 3. I think I'll take the middle one out, or this upper one out. And I'll take this back. Take the butt off the end. Well, it's got that branch pruned up. That's looking quite nice. This view could be quite a nice front view for the tree. I'd have the main leader off to the right. This one could become a branch to the left. This would become a back branch. It's, you know, it's a little rough looking, the trunk here, some bulges, but as it gets bark and it grows more, I think that'll disappear. Yeah, it could look quite good from that view. Yeah, a lot of possibilities. So the main thing for this summer will be to allow this leader to grow, start healing, you know, some of these wounds, getting more tissue callousing over. I'll keep this branch structure fairly compact, but I'll let this grow for sure. Just let it grow unrestricted. And yeah, and see how it does next summer. Hopefully, you know, it'll just keep improving.
Here's a look at the tree now. So a Norway maple has fairly large leaves naturally. Now they can be reduced at least to half and maybe a third of the size you see on a full-size tree. I think I'll grow this tree to a medium to a large size bonsai, so it has a lot of growing in the future. And I'm hoping as it grows, you know, this big wound in the middle will slowly disappear and maybe become unnoticeable in the future. That's my hope anyway. So I've got to just keep the tree healthy, keep it growing over the next 4 or 5 years, and I'm hoping I can turn it into something quite nice. I'll rotate the tree around so you can see it from all angles. So here I go. Coming around to the right side, around to the back.
around to the left side, and back around to a possible front. I'll rotate the root base around also so you can see it from all angles. So here I go. There's the front view, coming around to the right hand view. Around to the back. The left hand view. And back to the front. You can see the root base looks quite nice from all directions. So if I do have to change to the front of the tree, the root base won't be a problem. It'll look good from all directions. I'm hoping the steps I took today on my Norway maple will help it grow into the future and turn into something nice once again. It was looking pretty ugly with that big stump up the middle. So I'm hoping I can turn something, a tragedy, into triumph in the future. And that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.